The roundtables are Monday through Friday. There are morning sessions. And there are evening sessions and afternoon sessions, 11 a.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. So we ask you to join often. And the author of the hour sessions will be Saturday and Sundays, and these are Monday through Friday. So today's session, and I'm grateful to have two other authors with us. Tell me who you are and what your books are, and then we'll get on to how we can promote ourselves on social media.
Let's start with Mark.
Okay.
Well, I'm Mark Katzman. I live in Athens, Georgia. I've self-published a book. I've had a book published by a press in Brooklyn that kind of botched it and didn't have any PR in motion. And after a lot of persistence over several years from Reader's Magnet, I decided that I really did want to see the book in the form that I wanted, and we have worked very hard with them to get the book shaped and the correct title. I even changed the title for a publisher, thinking a young kid from Brooklyn knew more than I did and would help sell books, but that was not the case. So it's worked well with Reader's Magnet to establish the correct title and form of my book. And next comes this media push, of course, which we're all faced with. So thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm sorry, I don't have your names on the bottom.
Her name's Margaret, and
okay.
She's from
Thank
Florida.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Margaret Krufchania. I'm from Palm Harbor, Florida, which is just north of Clearwater in the Tampa Bay area. And I have been publishing books for the last 6 years through Christian Faith Publishing. And I started out by just telling stories to my grandchildren, and then finally it kind of morphed into writing books for ages 8 to 12 years old. And so right now I have the Four Cousins Mystery Series. I have 4 books in that, and I've just finished my 5th one, The Quest for the Cat's Eye Ruby. And I just had my first adult novel published in July called Evermore, which is
good for you.
A lot of facts, some fiction, but it's about my family. And it's a very personal story. So it is a historical romance and a mystery. And I have a media specialist in Oklahoma through Snow Tree Media, and she has really helped me establishing a Facebook website and Instagram and various, media ways. She's made all sorts of, banners and flyers that I can use and send out. So, it's a slow process.
Yes, it is.
I go to book fairs and various places and schools and promote.
Okay, and we have someone else who has joined us.
Yes, Ellie, she's my good friend. We interacted and engaged a lot in Washington, D.C.
Oh, how nice.
Hello, Charlene.
Hello.
Do you want to introduce yourself and then also your book?
You said what, sir?
If you can introduce yourself to your co-authors and tell us a little something about the Sun Lion.
All right. So first off, I am Charlene Turner. I am representing Sun Lion. It is a children's fable. I've been a author for about a little over a year now. However, I've been a therapist for over 10 years now, and I'm just walking in a new footsteps with going down the journey of being an author and wanting to share words of affirmation, and mostly dealing in the field of fable books.
Great. Well, and I'm Eleanor Gaccetta, and I have been with Reader's Magnet for 3 years. And Margaret, my first book is very personal as well. My first book is, and I don't think you can see it here.
No, I can't.
There you go.
There it
My
is.
first book
Okay.
is One Caregiver's Journey, and it is about thank you, Lourdes. It is about the 10 years that I took care of my mother as a sole 24/7 caregiver until her death in my home at the age of 102. And
Oh my.
from that, I wrote Generations of Good Food, which is this little book, which Reader's Magnet published, which is a cookbook of 200 recipes from my mother's Italian family, from my Italian family. And so I think that's kind of a good way to bounce us right into the effectiveness of connecting with your audience on social media. If you're an author and you're looking for a way to connect with people who like your genre or who like your books or who like you, to promote your brand as well as marketing. Today, it's all about digital marketing. I have heard this from John for the last 3 years. It's all about digital marketing, and that social media proficiency is what you can do. Like you, Margaret, I have gone to book fairs. In Los Angeles, I handed out 1,000 postcards for my 2 books in 2 days. Got very little response in terms of people buying them. I handed out about 800 in Tucson. I did sell some books there. You can do TV commercials. You can do radio advertising. You can put up your banners, but social media offers a very, very different way from traditional marketing, and it's more personalized, it's more efficient, and it's more convenient. And sometimes it takes more time. Sometimes it just takes more time. Through social media, you can let your
I did
brand
not write
speak.
that.
You can reach more readers. You can give your book more visibility that it deserves. So why do authors choose social media? And the main reason is it's a platform for marketing. And although you can use different channels and different mediums, there are still endless sales and brand awareness for you. The Festival of Storytellers is a great way to promote your book. And you can sign up for the social media add-on for TFOS, for the Festival of Storytellers. Marketing, it also gives you the freedom to communicate and promote your concepts and what else you would like to do. So what's the best social media platform that you can use? Well, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's YouTube.
Is
There's
Pinterest?
YouTube.
Is
Pinterest, yes, there's Pinterest. That's true. And you might get to tell us about Pinterest, Charlene, because I don't know much about Pinterest other than it's a great place to find recipes and to find interesting arts and crafts and stuff.
So
yes.
So Pinterest, I use it a lot for my clients because with the field of being a therapist, we cannot legally teach them anymore how to do certain stretches. So Pinterest is just another Google with pictures, because pictures speaks 1,000 words. Yes. And it grabs people attention more for them to be more engaged. So I did put my children's book on Pinterest. I do have a post. I have the link for Pinterest for my platform, because I know that the more platforms that you allow yourself to be on, it gives yourself more of a chance that a lot of people can attract to you. and spread the word. Because at the end of the day, with using platforms, it's all about word of mouth. And once person get onto your account, it basically starts the trend of a domino effect.
Well, so so let's start with Instagram. And one of the issues that I have with social media, and you probably all do as well, is that in order to be effective, you have to be on several times a day. You have to have, you have to have a nice image. You have to have your book covers have to be out there. You have to upload several times a day for your stories and your posts for it to reach. You have to use hashtags. You have to be able to find the groups that share your interests and share their story features. And you have to have high quality graphics, or else you're going to go down in flames. And I post 3 times a day. I do 3 stories a day and 2 posts a day. Generally in the evening, I do my posts. And I'm on a platform of, I do 2 food posts and an inspiration post, and then 2 caregiving posts and an inspiration post. So when you look at my feed, it looks symmetrical, and you can pretty much see what it is. That's just how I have been instructed to do it. That isn't how everybody has to do it, but that's how I have been instructed to do it. Another platform is Facebook. And I don't know about you in terms of being on Facebook, but you can engage and you can buy ads and you can do all kinds of things. But right now there's just so much negativity on Facebook that it's very, very difficult, I think, to reach a target audience. You have your followers, you have your friends, but you have to be able to create and build your account and your profile. And it's kind of hard to do when you're flipping through your friends and they're posting negative. And today, especially in the US, everything is political, since we're going to have an election in 2 weeks. And they also tell you that if you post something, to be sure you caption it, be sure you also do hashtags. And I am not proficient enough with I personally am not proficient enough with hashtags to be able to find them. But I know you have to look for groups that have the same interests as you, the same kinds of postings as you. And then you have to promote your group on a page, and interact back and forth with them. And here again, how much time do you have in a day to post and to find? And I mean, this stuff takes time if you're doing it yourself. Margaret, you have someone who does this for you, so you pay them to give you the time.
Yeah, I do. It was recommended by my publisher, and Abby's been, just has become really a good friend. So she does help with the website, but like you, I interact with the people and I write messages to them and I send them to her and she posts them out there, does a blast out to them. So I write to my followers, but you're right. It's difficult to, engage. Like I do have quite a few followers, and then you have this, this huge Facebook presence, thousands upon thousands, but just to bring in followers sometimes is, can be difficult. Instagram, I find, is very difficult.
Well, I find Instagram, I find it fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks to John, I have learned how to use Instagram only because I look at John's site and follow his posts and his stories. And it gives you some ideas of being creative. there are tools, I guess, for lack of a better word, like Canva or Framework, where you can design your posts. This past Sunday, my family had my brother's grandchildren had a pumpkin carving day at his house, which is right up his alley. It's total chaos with all of his grandkids, all the pumpkins, the seeds, all the mess. And they all stood in the living room and in the dining room and carved pumpkins. And I was able to put a post up where I was able to put 3 of them in frames and just say pumpkin carving at Papa's. It was just a Sunday afternoon. I posted it both on Facebook and on Instagram. So I find Instagram easier, and that's only because as you start to get followers on Instagram, they have more similar interest to yours. You're not dealing with thanks for agreeing with that, Charlene. They have more similar interest to yours, as opposed to Facebook, where your followers are going to be all over the board. Charlene, did you want to add to that?
I will definitely take a
Okay.
look at Instagram.
Yeah,
I'll look more
it's
at
actually
Insta-
actually Facebook's cousin, but it's I like Instagram. I think you can target it a lot easier. Charlene, what do you think?
I will honestly agree with you with navigating Instagram. That is one big platform that I use because you can get so wrapped up with what you're trying to share. And like I said, that a picture shows 1,000 words without you putting more emphasis on it. So I do use Instagram a lot for my posts because you can always post on your story and then also make a general post. And also with Instagram, it's certain time of the day that is a spark for you to grab more attention from your audience, because a lot of people are at work and have 9-to-5 jobs. So in their nowadays life, they're checking right when they're waking up, and then they're checking right in the middle of the day, and then they're checking right after work. So you're having 3 major times that you're able to get some audience to attract to you. Also, what I do is I'm not very big in the TikTok world, but I do post from my TikTok onto my Instagram. So those clips and those pictures or videos do spark people's attentions because it's stimulating the brain to be more intrigued. That's why videos are very big nowadays, and then also pictures, because people are very visual.
Yes. Well, and I would like to say you're talking about you're talking about people at different posts. I have international followers. So a lot of times if I get up early in the morning, I have likes or responses back from people who are in England, people who are in the Philippines, people who are in Europe, Australia. I have followers in India. So I'm getting responses back in languages I don't understand. And it just really kind of, I think it's fascinating. But you're talking about TikTok. And John, I know you recently put out something about book talk. And I have been hearing about book talk, but I'm not very good at videoing myself. So it's a
but
little,
before right, and before we have Lourdes talk more about book talk, Mark, are you on Instagram or are you on Pinterest? Charlene?
First,
Charlene?
want to apologize for a comment that is on the screen that I have no idea about that.
That's
Very
all
kind of
right.
people. I am very
That
active.
happens. That happens on social media. That's a classic
see that,
example.
and I'm like,
Yes.
wow, so I just respond to that. That's, I love Instagram. And I wrote one entire book, a new book I just finished over 7 years over on Twitter. I wrote an entire book on Twitter,
Wow.
little by little over 7 years. But
Wow.
Instagram I've got a website called Athens Uncharted. So we're on Facebook with 4,000 people. We're on Instagram,
Wow.
almost 1,000. So I have not started an author page, but I've put, and here's, my book is.
Put it in front of your face, Frank, then we can see it. There you go.
I write literary, non-realistic fiction that's very difficult to categorize except for being literature. And so I am going to start an Instagram devoted to that. But I love the medium and I love what you can do. I do interviews with artists too, and there's enough room there to add text along with, with the image. So it gives you some freedom there. And Facebook now allows a lot of text to be put along with images. So you can literally really have a good say about whatever topic you're wanting to talk about. But my website I have a website, but my new revamped website is not up yet. So I can't really, not really start to, try to move some copies of the book. They're running a little behind on me, but you do have to persist, and you do have to find groups and or individuals who resonate with what you do. I've also published 2 artist books that are called, I'm going to bring one to New York, but they're in museums. And I don't know how that will help me with my fiction stuff, but I can reach a certain audience there that might also be interested in my fiction. But it's a big process, and I might hire someone ultimately to help me, along.
You know what, you just hit on another platform that is pretty dear to my heart, and that is your webpage.
Yeah.
That is your webpage. I promote my webpage actually through the webpage optimization program at WTO, at Reader's Magnet. And over time, I have a lot of blogs related to caregiving and cooking on my webpage. And if your genre is such that people are going to be interested in what you are offering, such as caregiving, and right now with the pandemic, so much occurred, and it has become such a large industry, because at the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of people took their loved ones out of senior care facilities and brought them to their homes. And then all of a sudden, there they were catapulted into both being caregivers of their kids who were at home going to school, and their elderly relatives who needed a different kind of help. And many of them have become multi-generational households now, simply because of the cost of nursing homes and assisted living. It has become almost cost prohibitive, averages between $9,000 and $12,000 a month. And so if you are a family with kids trying to raise children in the economy that we have, it's very difficult. So they are learning to be caregivers, and they gravitate towards anything they can find. And there's a lot of help on social media for that. But through postings, through blogs, and it's a lot of work. I'm not going to tell you it's not a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Last month, I had 7,100 page hits. I had 3,100 views to my page and 7,100 page hits. So
Wow.
people are going there and they're looking at it, and it's Reader's Magnet promotes their web pages as dynamic web pages, and I'd like to say mine's one of them. You can put your videos, you can put your audio, you can put your radio interviews, you can put pictures. You can just, I mean, it's almost endless what you can do. But so the web page has been something good for me. I'm not sure about return on investment on any through social media, but I think for promoting us and promoting our platforms, I think it's the way to go. Digital marketing is where it's at, and you need to go with the times. I mean, sometimes it's not easy, but you need to go with the times. Charlene, you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to make a comment off of what you were applying on the pandemic and how the whole pandemic can be affected in your household. That was a very, that really sparked a nerve for me, because when this whole book came along, it was a period of starting in the 2020 and going through the hardship of closing down my medical spa, and also having nieces and nephews that live in my household. So definitely it was a very big turn in my direction. And I just thank God, because honestly, if it wasn't for his purpose of making me write a children's book to get myself out of that depression and that funk of failureship, and also just going through hard times. And I just want to make it very known that it's not a walk that everybody's doing by themselves. This is a world pandemic. And I just want to give a good seed to the world, that knowing that you can overcome all of the challenges that we're experiencing right now and still going through right now. And I thank you for bringing up the comments of caregivers, because that's just a long field that it's being drowned in just so much pressure, and it's not easy being a caregiver to people when you have to take care of yourself as well.
No, well, I had 10 years of it, and I lived very isolated in those 10 years. I lived within these four walls. I had more trouble after my mother passed away, because I had to reintegrate into a world that had moved on without me for almost 10 years. And frankly, the pandemic wasn't difficult for me, because going back into an isolated situation was not foreign at all to me, as it was to the rest of the world. And my neighbors, who complained vehemently that the cleaning lady couldn't come. So, it was just, it was, for me, it was not a big deal. But I wrote my cookbook during the pandemic, and that's what got me through. So I was able to use my mind. I was able to use my time, and to write that's when I wrote my cookbook. So the pandemic has changed a lot in the way that we live. And from the pandemic came all the social media stuff.
Yes.
Because people went back to their computers. They were Googling like crazy. They were looking for ideas. TikTok exploded because everybody had something funny, or they wanted to put a dance, or they wanted to give some sort of advice, or, TikTok taught me. But I think that social media has just changed the way that we live, period.
Yeah. So Ellie, if you don't mind me asking, what are the three things that resonates, or what are the three most successful things that has happened to you or you consider as milestones because of social media?
Well, first of all, I think I'm pretty much amazed at how my webpage has taken off. I'm
Yeah,
amazed. I'm
helps your
amazed
webpage.
at, yes, I'm amazed at how and what I've learned through that process, through Google Analytics, all the different things that Google will teach you and what Google can do.
Mhm.
The Google Analytics and the way that you find out where you are and who you're attracting, and um, uh, who has viewed your webpage. My webpage is, and through the WTO reports every month, you learn where your webpage is being viewed. It's being viewed in India, in China, in France, in Italy, in Germany. It's being viewed in Canada, Australia, the Philippines. It's being viewed all but North Dakota states has had at least one page view. And my biggest views come from the state of Virginia. And I don't know why, because I don't know anybody in Virginia. So I think social media expands your mind. I was very hesitant to get on Facebook because for 10 years I had no reason to be on it. I had nothing to post. I had nothing, and I didn't have the time taking care of my elderly mother to try to figure out, to take the time to peruse who was posting what and what was happening with other people. What I had to post wouldn't have been of any interest, and they probably would have run the other way. So
Yeah.
I didn't get on that. And I have, with the help of John's staff, I have thoroughly enjoyed learning how to do and be on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I just think social media is just a much more useful way. You can advertise on all of these platforms, which I have not yet done, but you can advertise on all of these platforms. You can, and I think you reach a lot more people than you do standing in a book fair handing out postcards. But the flip side of
Correct.
that, John, the flip side of that is that when you're at a book fair handing out your postcards, you also get to interact with a lot of people who want to tell you their story, and they want to tell you what has happened to them, and they just want to share.
Yes.
And they want the world. They're delighted to know that there's somebody that will understand what they're going through, where they are in their life. You might
Yeah.
not be able to help them, but you can console them.
Yep. And I'd like to go around the table, right? So Charlene, for
Yes.
you, three things, or three of the most unforgettable milestones that social media has brought to you or your book.
First, I want to say that it was a shocker to me that to experience the first book convention that I was at, to be in a place with knowing that, yeah, I haven't been an author long, but just to show that me taking my steps to achieve something gave me a gift to meet new people and to market with new people, and also just to be inspired that I am giving something different to our nowadays world. Also, my second thing is it's amazing that I can still put my well, second thing is that I want to be grateful that I can still put my therapist license into my new field, basically making me feel a little comfortable that I don't feel like I am completely out my league. Also having a team that accomplish and also want the same goals that I want for the future of Sun Lion.
Got it. Got it. And Charlene is really a social media expert, Ellie, Margaret, and Mark, and Lourdes, because 1 minute she's in these stilettos that are this high, and the next minute she's like in slippers. I was like, it's just so shocked because she can flip with with the snap of a finger. And there you go.
It's called
And
being smart when you're a female and you don't want to walk too far and you want to be, but you still want to be fashionable for your pictures. Also,
a lady always needs options.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
she's such a. Oh, go ahead.
One thing I want to show things that I use for my for my platform, and this also for marketing. So this is just like when I do a chair event, I also have a wristband, and you have saw my little band that I have with Sun Lion. It is a digital, it's a digital business card. So it's giving people the option of not playing middleman and not having them put your information into their phone. Your information will be already in their phone in less than 5 seconds. So that was one
QR,
thing that I
QR code
used.
queen. The QR code queen. Yeah. Okay. How about? Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, Charlene.
No, I was just agreeing.
Yeah. So she's the QR code queen expert. Ellie, we have to print these new postcards for you with a QR code. In fact, all your books that's gonna be displayed in Tribeca and in Saratoga Springs will have QR codes now, because we were inspired by Charlene, right?
Oh, wow. Thank you, Charlene.
Yes,
Thank you, John. Well,
Okay,
I
how
think
about you?
the one thing that social media does is, I think the two words that resonate for me are exposure.
Yes.
Exposure. I mean, it's a simple way to get to expose yourself, your books, and your brand easily, and to a lot of people, in a very short amount of time, and it just promotes you and your works. Okay, John.
Yeah,
I'm
Ellie.
sorry.
Yeah, let's hear from Mark and Margaret about their
Yes.
their top 3 experiences or even milestones or achievements because of social media, and how they just enjoy social media. Go ahead, Margaret. Ladies
Well,
first this time.
I have really just loved being on. I actually do use Facebook, and I've used Instagram, but I've used Facebook, but I've loved it. And I have my own website, the Four Cousins Mystery Series. And I love interacting with moms and grandparents, because I will often post pictures of my grandchildren, because this is the Four Cousins Mystery Series, and it's based on my 4 grandchildren. So I have a lot of different pictures of them and the activities. And one of the things we did, and you mentioned it, Ellie, is that this past Sunday, we make Halloween houses every year. And I cover milk cartons with aluminum foil, and they cover them with frosting and all kinds of, candies, and they make them scary, and they have a great time. So then I post it. And some of the moms have written back to me and they say, well, how do you do that? Can you send us the directions? So I've sent them the directions over, there you go, over, Facebook, over my website. And then I have the inspirational posts, and some of the grandparents will come back and say, oh, I really miss my grandchildren. And, I'm able to talk back and forth. I've loved talking back and forth and sharing the stories with them. And, you learn part of their lives. And another thing I've enjoyed doing is these little contests where the holidays will have a contest where, we'll do a drawing for a free book. And, people send their emails in, and, I'll be able to talk to them, and then they get to have like a free book or something for Christmas. And I've just enjoyed the interaction and hearing the lives of the story of the people, and how they love to follow the 4 cousins And now with the other book, the adult book, Evermore, they love to, just kind of relate to their own stories and their own families. So I find it a great way to connect with people all over the United States and, in Canada. I don't know about overseas. I haven't checked in Europe, but I have enjoyed connecting with people in the United States and Canada.
Yeah. How
It's
about
been
you,
fun.
Mark? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Margaret. How about you, Mark?
Well,
Just the three things.
let's see. Social media has helped me in one great way. In 1990, I had a very good year way back in the last,
When
in the olden
back in the
days,
day.
and published 2 artist books, they're called. Now, a very small group of people became aware of that. But if you go to the MoMA Queens branch, you can see one. But pictures of those, that I put on my Facebook page, opened up an enormous, they can't read. You've got to go to the museum to see them. Unfortunately, it's so
Yeah.
elitist. And there was a show with the one called Einon, which is the one in Queens, and there I am under glass at the opening, and I got to read it too, which was fun. But there's William Blake, Yoko Ono, and mine in the middle, opened up about this much, and it opens up to a giant scroll. So you saw like this much.
Wow.
I tell my friends, if you have one, put it on the wall, let it hang. It's an art object, but it's a story. It's a shaman story. But using social media to keep yourself out there has really helped. And a couple other things. One is I greatly enjoyed the one I self-published, giving away copies of. It's called I, Russian Bride. Sold a few, gave away many, and really felt good that at least I knew people out there, had seen these. But there is a service that you might look into, and I'm going to once my website is finally done, called Fiverr, FIVVER.com.
Mhm.
They offer all sorts of services for starting at $5. So for maybe $20 or $30, you can go to a social media specialist and get your book e-blasted to 5,000 outlets. So I would
Nice.
have a look at Fiverr, FIVVER. It's worked out very well. They're very secure. It's definitely something I'm going to do when all my things are in place, is go to. And the other thing is I've done a lot of interviews with people, and those have, again, gotten to reappear. They've been in magazines, and then they're able to reappear on social media. So
Yes.
that's been, I interviewed Timothy Leary back before he passed away, and that's gotten, just enormous numbers of hits. So the social media is the platform of our day and age. And
Yep.
you talked about the pandemic. The pandemic was fantastic. I got to work on my book with, you've got to be isolated, and
Yeah.
you got to, that was a great thing to happen. Although I wish the whole thing had never, had ever taken place, but it sure helped for the isolation of the artists to work and get their projects done. And that's true for visual artists and every artist I've talked to and continue to talk to. But
I think it was the boom. People were
Yeah.
isolated. So what else did they have to do besides peruse their phones and their computers and look for what they could do to entertain themselves?
Well, I think many people started drinking too much, and I don't know what, had family problems, because suddenly you're actually with your whole family for, I think it changed the dynamic of so many things. But for me,
Yes.
being alone, just a great boon in working on a longer mansion, which is now completed. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm writing screenplays now. I've had some success there, and I love different forms. I've written plays, screenplays. I'm I like working in different forms of writing for me, but the social media is still the way to get the word out. And so everyone's got to find their savvy approach and read up more on it and get on Instagram, because it's not going away anytime soon. Facebook is tainted, unfortunately, but the only form so far, until some new genius comes along to make a new social network that is different somehow. But you can find your group within Facebook. If you can find your group, you can reach a select number of people. But Facebook changes every day. They add on new things, they tinker. I just find it appalling. I have they've changed your site a little bit. They change things. They don't know what they're doing. I think the whole thing is going to implode, right, at some point. I don't know.
I had an
Yeah.
administrator.
Off
I
track.
had an administrator throw me off
Oh yeah,
of a
I've had
throw
that.
me off of a site here in Denver that was called Caregiver Tribe, predominantly millennials. And one young woman was posting constantly that she was sick of being a caregiver, and she was her mother's repetitive dementia. She felt like she really wanted to hurt her mother, and the responses from everybody else was, you need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy. You need to tell somebody about your feelings. My response to that is, well, you're laying on the couch telling this therapist what your problem is. Who's going to be taking care of grandma? And and I posted a very simple, which was, it's okay if you don't think you're cut out to be a caregiver. It's okay to say you're not caregiver material. And they threw me off the site.
Oh, wow.
Well,
That's
that
wrong.
I mean, such is life, right? And social
Yeah.
media
Yeah.
is
That's
it's really
wrong. Yeah.
that avenue. And okay, so there
Have
you go.
Have we, I'd like to ask if maybe we could give Lourdes or Reader's Magnet somehow share our handles on Instagram with each other, because I would certainly love to follow all of you.
Of course, that would be perfect. I actually thought that it would be fun to have your accounts in the meeting chat. Since this is recorded, we'll have your links down here. I know Ellie is at Instagram.com/Ellie Gaccetta. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ellie.
No, I'm at,
Eleanor
my
Not yet.
Instagram is at Gaccetta Eleanor.
Gaccetta Eleanor. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
my
the one.
Facebook is Ellie, but my Instagram is at Gaccetta Eleanor. Sir John, I'm sorry, Sir John, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you.
I was gonna say, if we could type it up.
Yep.
There you go. James has put mine on.
Yes, I can see that. How about you, Charlene? Your handles for Pinterest or for Instagram?
Hello, Sun Lion.
Hello, Sun Lion. Yeah.
Yes. Very
Okay.
simple.
Charlene,
right.
what's your Instagram handle?
Hello, Sun Lion.
Okay, so how do you say SILAS?
It
Yeah, I see
is
it. I got it.
Hello, Sun Lion.
There,
So
Sunlight.
it's
I think.
the Sun Lion.
Sun Lion. Got it. Thank you.
No problem.
And
Okay.
Margaret?
it's really the Four Cousins Mysteries. That's what, I'm known as.
So it's the number 4 or FOUR?
FOUR.
Okay. And Mark, we see your website.
I just put that one up for the moment, which is it's on Squarespace, but it's being built right now at Reader's Magnet. So, but it'll have the same domain.
You'll love it.
And you can see my artists, but you can see some of the stuff I've done there. I've got everything on one page. I went with that approach where Reader's Magnet, we're opening up my, trajectory and various interests. I play music and have recorded
Yes.
albums.
And
blah, blah.
And you'd
But-
be happy to know that the Reader's Magnet office in Long Island City is right beside MoMA Queens. So,
Oh, well, that,
uh,
you really,
well,
someone
not
really,
not right beside, like probably a
Yeah.
block or two.
yeah. Well, they could look at one of my pieces there. It's very, it's a great credit, but it hasn't paid a bill. You know what I mean?
That's fine, and that's what I tell
Which
Ellie
is fine.
because
It's the writing of it that counts, but
Yeah.
a little glory of some kind, but has it paid my electric bill? That's fine. No.
and it's still publicity, right? Everything and anything that you
Yes.
can
Oh,
use will continue. And I think I've had this
Yeah.
conversation with Charlene too, but marketing your book is not it can be very slow, right? In a very
It is.
fast world of social media, it can be very slow because of the returns, but you don't stop, right? Like a TV ad that just keeps running and running and running, and or a radio ad that keeps playing and playing and playing. We can't stop, so that our books will be heard, our brand will be heard, and somehow,
Yeah.
sometime, I just can't guarantee when, but someone will
Yeah.
actually see us.
I've been at it for 40 plus years, but this new Reader's Magnet has my best endorsement by a couple great authors, and I'm very hopeful that I can find my weird little cult literary audience. I don't have a topic. Caregiving is a fantastic topic for today. Mine is about oddball little European oriented stories that are, based on the real world, but turned into more fantastical type books. But
There's
you got
somebody out there.
There are
There's
people out
somebody
there.
out there.
There's somebody, and
There
I think a
are.
lot in Europe, unfortunately, that I need to get to. But I'm sitting on 4 unpublished novels now. I have a long way to go still to get the word out, but I'm working on it, And that was the reason that I went with Reader's Magnet, to get this one in place, which is the first one that really, when I came into my own, represents.
And
So,
I will tell you, you will find this management demands honesty and integrity from their staff. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you. And I'm not doing a commercial. I'm giving you what I have found in 3 years. This management here demands honesty and integrity from their staff. Their staff, the people that published my first book have very, very little customer service. I would not have known about a website. I would have not have known that I needed a copyright. I would have not have known that I needed how Amazon pays, how they pick and choose who they reviews, and how they change the price of a book. And I would have not known any of that had it not been for that staff to provide me with industry knowledge that I didn't know. They also have something that many, many other self-publishing, hybrid, vanity, whatever you want to call it. They also, the one thing that Reader's Magnet demands and that they have that many do not, because there's a lot, I get calls every day from everybody that wants to know if I want to do this or that with them. They have a fulfillment department. They will ensure and follow your product. You pay for something, they're going to follow it through, and they have staff that will stay in touch with you. They have staff that will answer your questions. I don't mean to be a paid advertisement, because I'm not a paid advertisement.
Because you even
But-
pay us.
Yeah, I do pay you, as a matter of fact.
They
But,
should pay you.
Yeah,
This
we
is-
should pay you. That's right. We should
Yes,
really pay
thank you. Thank you. They
Great advertisement.
that's why the Festival of Storytellers is such a super thing, is that it focuses on us, the authors. It doesn't focus on Reader's Magnet and what they can do for you. But they've got a ton of packages and platforms, from initial editing and printing that book to social media and in a number of ways to market your entity.
I've found working with them very, very good. And my book is like a rebranding, so it was an extra thing.
That's
I did want to
okay.
mention one other social media outlet is Goodreads. Are you
Well,
on
but
Goodreads?
they will publish Goodreads will promote your book, but you have to have somebody on the other side of you to get you to Goodreads. Now my books are on Goodreads. Charlene's book is on
I love the giveaways where people
everybody's.
could sign up. Could
I think
sign up
all
and
of Margaret's books are on Goodreads.
you got to
I think
give away.
Goodreads picks you up.
Yes.
Yeah, Goodreads is good. So that's another platform to
It is.
use.
John, do you want me to wrap up?
Yes, yes. No, but before wrapping up, I'd like to thank by any means, Readers Magnet is not perfect, but we try. We try. Like this is a very new avenue.
Yes.
Charlene, it's thank you for gracing us with your presence here. Mark,
problem.
I
Anytime.
cannot. You're welcome. And Mark, thank you also for trusting us and making sure that we have your your full confidence, right? With
We do
with
now.
your
They
work.
came through. Yeah, they really came through on a tough layout for me, different than they
Yeah.
had been before, and
Yeah.
well worth it. I am very happy. This is actually the book I want us to see, and I'm hoping that will translate into other people will resonate with the correct
Nice. Very
correct
nice.
layout, and that was important to me. So it's been interesting, and the process is still going on. I want to get this website up, and work it, So I'm waiting daily to hear from
Yeah.
Jill.
Good. Very good. And Margaret, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing. It's
I've
been
been very
valuable.
impressed by this Festival of Storytellers. I've been very impressed by Reader's Magnet and this Festival of Storytellers and how you promote everything. It's beautiful.
Have
Yeah,
you
and
gone
it's
to any of the booths? Have you gone to any of the booths? Any of the author goes to some of the author booths, and see how they
yes.
have promoted the authors in the author booths, and there's a number of different things, and there's a ton of booths. And
Yes.
John, I don't know
And
the exact number for this year, but I'm certain it's probably you've had over 150 in the past Festival of
yes.
Storytellers.
Now it's only 70, but it's focused. We had over 200 in the first run. It just
Yes.
crashed the system. You saw that, Ellie.
Yes, I did.
We trimmed it down to 150, and there was just so much traffic. Now it's only 70, but this 70 is the power 70, meaning there's more opportunity for each author that has joined to really stand out, right? Having it over 200 was just chaos, right?
Oh, it was.
People didn't know where to
was.
go. There were just too many options. It was like, sorry,
Yeah.
but a Walmart, right? Like, now it's really, it's supposed to be white glove. Lourdes is smiling because she's done such a awesome job, and it's really more of like the Bloomingdale's or even a Saks. If you um that that it's catered, it's catered to that 70 authors with their great books without shortchanging them and providing them with white glove. Now, Ellie, I want to thank before you wrap up. I also want to thank you for your time. Oh my goodness, Charlene, I will take note of that. We have to give her some freebies because she's been promoting us nonstop. But in return, she's also promoting her book. And
Yeah.
this recording is gonna be in the YouTube channel of Readers Magnet. It's gonna be on Facebook. So what a way to segue, because you know it's immortalized, right? Just as long as that platform is there. And I think Facebook and YouTube will at least be here for the next 10 years. Every year we will be reminded that, hey, October 25 at 12:04, I have met fabulous people like Margaret, Mark, and Charlene with Ellie, so that I have new friends now that we can connect. So thank you, social media, and thank you, Miss Gaccetta.
Thank you. Thank you, John. You know, this is just super. This has been an informative and I think just a wonderful roundtable, and to get everybody's perspectives and to speak with everyone. I again thank the staff and the management at Reader's Magnet for all the work they've done to put forth at TFOS 3, as we call it, the Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 3. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but there's a lot of angst because I haven't been able to get in the time that I want, but that's okay. Here we are, and follow us. Go to festivalofstorytellers.com and poke around the platform. And the other thing I would say is thank you. And thank you, and stay well. Charlene, stay well. Be
Thank
safe.
you. I want before we leave,
Yes, ma'am.
I just would love to give a little secret for the storyteller that I will be opening up for Friday day. And so definitely those that are in New York and will be able to attend, definitely you will see me, and I will have a voice actress there for to do a skit out of the children's book.
Are you going to do so? You can live stream, and that's one of the beauties of the Festival of Storytellers is you can live stream for 30 minutes at a time from your own booth and gather your international following, because you have the opportunity to chat with people from all over the world. In TFOS 1, I became good friends with a man who from England who just always kind of seemed to be on there. It was really kind of a fun thing it was, 9 o'clock at night, my time. And he is talking about the book and talking about stuff. So it was a lot of fun. I thank you. Stay well, be safe. Ciao for now.